Yes, Ekiti.
All right. Well, very pleased to know that you are there at the moment. Well, the latest position at the moment is that the exercise has been indefinitely suspended. How does that resonate with the frontline political actors? I mean, the aspirants.
We find out about that just shortly, because when we went to Senator Femi Ojudu earlier, he told me that the Al-Makura committee, the report is going to do a report to the National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress, and maybe an emergency meeting of the National Working Committee meeting of the All Progressive Congress will decide on the next way. We set the deadline for the submission of candidates' name to the Independent National Electoral Committees on the 15th of this month. It's 15th of this month, so we're counting down. And I have Dr. Makanjuola Owolabi with me. He's a retired military personnel, and his own concern before this exercise, he has been talking about security, he has been talking about that arrangement. And when I saw him earlier today, he was talking about those flaws and the lapses, the invasion of unwanted element into the Oluyemi Kayode stadium yesterday, and what could be done if this exercise is going to be held again. Doctor, nice to have you on.
Thank you very much.
What really went wrong in terms of security yesterday? You're an aspirant.
Well, apart from being an aspirant as a retired military officer and also a consultant in human factors, which is the reason why we fail in every area, including political failure. What happened yesterday was a predictable failure of the strategy for security and also the strategy for the whole voting system. And I will say it's also what I call 5 Ps. Poor preparation produces poor performance. It's as simple as that. I was there 7 o'clock yesterday, and from the time I was there, it was clear to me, even if that exercise was held in a closed environment, the failure would still have been very outstanding. First of all, it was clear to me that the security personnel were not properly briefed. Everybody was running helter-skelter. In such an event of that magnitude, I expected, for example, accreditation to be done in only one place. I expected, for example, after you are accredited, only one place. I expected that when you go to collect the ballot box, your delegate card ought to have been coded, not like what we saw.
Serialized.
Yes, and as soon as you are getting your ballot box, there should have been a special punch. And then when you go and vote, a second punch. Because what happened yesterday was that all the delegates were going outside in glare view of the public and selling their delegates a tag.
They were selling.
And coming back inside the room.
Can you confirm that?
Yes. The other thing I think is that there is a failure of what I call a selective application of the rule of law. Now, all the aspirants were called together and were given the guidelines, but it was selectively applied. I sat down quietly in the box where we were supposed to be throughout.
This is indicting the organizers.
But you can see that many of the aspirants were literally in the stadium, right inside where they were put. Some were even near the ball boxes and directing their aspirants and their agents. So what happened yesterday was predictable. And above all, I think that when you now have an exercise where some aspirants are giving some selective treatment, we understand some were actually directing and giving some tags to some of the delegates to vote in a particular order. Clearly, the entire exercise was compromised. But going forward, I think we should understand that, and I'm using this to sound to the National Working Committee of our great party, that what we saw yesterday was a spontaneous reaction to injustice. Once we allow injustice at any level...
Are you justifying the brigandage?
I am not.
Justifying the invasion of the ballot boxes?
I'm not. But
talks?
I'm not. But I'm saying that human beings are not angels. And rules are not made for angels. Rules are made for the worst day, when things can break down. It should not have happened. The security agents ought not to have allowed a situation where miscreants took over the day. And that was because there was lack of preparation. It was clear to me. And in any case, all of us as Nigerians should ponder on the day that you are having a primary election, why should it be that day that the commissioner of police, the number one officer of the police in that state is retiring, and you are bringing a new person? Clearly, there was no preparation, and it was a sham. It's a disgrace.
You have just less than 1 week to.
Well, the party knows what to do. First of all, some illegal delegates lists were used in my local government, Bonyi local government. All of us aspirants were given a delegate list from Abuja. The list that they used in my local government was not the list from Abuja. It was a manufactured fake list called Ayekire list that some of the local officers. It wasn't the list. And in fact, my agent wrote a petition to the committee. They didn't take it, but I will find a way to get that petition to the National Working Committee.
You're about the only aspirant that is doubting the incredible integrity of that list.
Many other aspirants, for example, MOB was sitting by my side. It was clear that the list they were using for Bonyi local government was not the list given to the aspirants. Most of the aspirants were outside shouting, and they didn't allow them to come in throughout. So I kept on praying to God for job, because whether we like it or not, whether we manufacture injustice, God still determines the cause of all events. And what we saw was an act of God ensuring that people will not have a premeditated outcome of an election that is supposed to be transparent, free, and fair. So the National Working Committee has their solutions. Look, times of the greatest calamity in human history have been productive of the best minds. And we're talking about a state that is the intellectual powerhouse of the entire Western region. So the solutions are very simple. Even from the simple area of justice, the section 20 of our party constitution makes it very clear. Most of the people who are having ego and vendetta drive to come back to power ought not to be allowed. The people to be
like that.
Because let us give you an example. The opposition party, PDP in the state, and all the other parties that are contesting in this same election have all selected their candidates from the south. They are not
senatorial district.
They are not mad, and they are not stupid. They are only being smart. And our party must be smart to understand that by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and by section 20 of my own party constitution, it is clear that everything we do in Nigeria must be based on federal character, rotation of geopolitical spread, and rotation of all offices and balance.
Moving forward.
So it is not right for people from the south not to have produced any governor for the past 21 years. It should have been zoned to that south.
If you have to advise the National Working Committee of your party now,
my advice is that there should be consequence for those who have compromised the whole effort, starting from the wrong people who are on the panel, on the committee panel. It was alleged, and that was why, in fact, they had to retire the secretary of the committee. That he had business interests. He was even an agent of one of the aspirants, and that was why he also left.
Do we have evidence of that?
Well, some of the other aspirants have evidences, and in fact they said they could prove that even in court. But what I'm saying, going forward, the national party, should listen to the voice of all the aspirants. All the aspirants made it very, very clear that the whole process, the list, the involvement of the state and the local have been compromised, because all of them have taken sides. The national body should get an independent, credible, impartial body to come and conduct the primary. And it should be done within the ambit of section 20 of my party constitution.
The Makanjuola-led committee is not independent. Are you now, indicting that?
All of us as aspirants agree that Governor Makura, in fact, don't forget that this was the only governor that was honored by Transparency International as very, very credible. But I'm a human factor specialist. It's just like in aviation. We ended up killing many passengers because we have what we call sky gods. That you are credible, that you are an intelligent governor, that you are a good captain of a pilot is irrelevant. We are talking about a breakdown of team behavior, in the ability of a team to function efficiently. That goes beyond being good. That requires skill, teamwork, character building. And this is where I bring my expertise to the table. Ekiti State has no business being insulted with what happened yesterday. It was predictable. And I think going forward, we should use our best brains. This election is not about the ego. People coming for vendetta, desire for revenge, are not going to do us any good.
Thank you.
The governor coming, that is me, is going to be the governor of the good, the bad, and the ugly.
We really have.
I must have the big heart.
Thank you.
To accommodate all.
Much.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Owolabi Makanjuola from Isegba, Ekiti, that's Ekiti Southern Senatorial District here, actually even calling for the rotation of, agitating. He has been at the vanguard of those agitating that it is time for the people of Ekiti South to be given a shot at the governorship of the state. Ikechukwu, over to you.